What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to LightSaber Radio, the most outrageous Star Wars show on the web. And we're going to be talking about Young Jedi Tales. And before anybody goes, this is a kid's show. I enjoyed it. I liked it. I thought it was pretty cool. It was very, it had some nostalgia. It felt like you was watching Star Wars.
Kyle forced me to watch it, but it wasn't terrible.
Yeah, but you could tell it was for kids. I mean, it is for kids. Show. But there was some good moments in it. It has some good life lessons. It taught a lot of things. So today, that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about Young Jedi Tales, and we're going to have fun doing it. So let's go ahead on and drop that intro.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
At last we will reveal ourselves.
Oh, I have a bad feeling about this.
You are now if you only knew the power of dark.
Here it comes.
Let's go.
You are now
Hello there.
What's up, everybody? We got Star Wars team leader in the chat. Dr. Skywalker's in the chat. Clint's in the chat. Chris is in the chat. What's going on, guys? How's everybody doing today? Oh, Dr.
Living the dream, man.
We're going to be doing another one sometime this month. Probably the last Sunday of the month. We'll do the next one, which should be, what's the next one? Solo?
Rogue One. No,
it's
Solo. You're right.
Yeah,
it's Solo. It's Solo.
Then Rogue One. So we're going to go through, like I said, we're watching all of them. And there's an issue with the website. Just let y'all know that for some reason it won't let me upload no more videos to it. I don't know if I got to pay for some more broadband or storage or what, because I tried to upload it, the thing to the website, it just wouldn't let me do it. So I've been trying to figure out how to do it. And I'm an idiot when it comes to that shit. I don't know what I'm doing. But today we're going to be talking about Young Jedi Adventures. And this is an animated show that was produced for toddlers by Lucasfilms and Disney Plus. And we got a little bit of a trailer a few months ago, or there was like 3 little hints to it on YouTube. It was like a couple 5-minute little episodes. And I watched it and it intrigued me. I was like, oh, this is kind of cute. So when it came out, I watched them all, of course. And then my perspective was like, oh, it's cute, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not a child. I thought it had good, it had some good morals, and it showed, some good things. The animation is definitely child based.
Yes, it's definitely for kids. Okay, so I'm not gonna come out here and say like you need to watch it. If you don't have kids, like you could skip it if you wanted to.
Well,
right?
It was kind of cool because
it wasn't like bad.
It wasn't bad, and then it took you back to the High Republic, and like I told everybody, they're pumping this High Republic stuff, and this was like their first little attempt. How is young people going to take it? So I called my daughter and I said, hey, I told my oldest daughter, I said, let my grandsons watch it. I got a 5-year-old grandson and then a 1-year-old grandson. And the 5-year-old grandson, she said, made through about 6 episodes, which is, that's pretty good for a 5-year-old. My 1-year-old grandson, he watched them all. And so that tells me, in between the ages of 1 and 3, it's really going to captivate them. You start getting to 4 where they're a little bit more energetic and they're moving a lot more. It's going to be a lot harder to captivate their attention for that long. Now, the thing that got me is you get a 5-year-old to sit down for longer than 5 minutes, you're doing great. You're doing good. So I think the reason that the 1-year-old grandson watched it more is because it has a lot of flashy colors. The cartoonish is more cartoon than animation.
Right.
We're definitely not getting visions out of here. But I think the morals and stuff that it taught in there is a little bit too complicated for somebody that's 1. Maybe the 5-year-old would get that more. In between 3 and 5 would get that a little bit more. But overall, it did give you I felt like I was watching Star Wars. I didn't feel like I was watching, like Visions. And I went into it expecting that this was going to be a kid show, which I'm a giant kid and so I still watch Scooby Doo and stuff. So,
Oh, hey, Scooby Doo is the ultimate kid show. Hey, I'll fight with that. Yes.
I still watch Scooby Doo. I still watch the Roadrunner and
Scooby Doo's
the
the
Looney
shit.
Tunes and stuff. I watch all the old school cartoons whenever I catch them on. I'm still a big, huge fan of The Simpsons, and you see how garbage the Simpson animation is, and Family Guy and all that. The animation on that is just terrible. You figure after all these years they would have upgraded the animation, but why fix something if it's not broken? People love, Family Guy and American Dad and The Simpsons and stuff. People still watch it. Adults from kids and everybody watch it, and the animation is just terrible. I mean, it's some of the worst animation ever, but it's funny. You get to watch it. But the morals that you learn from like Young Jedi Adventures, that's the biggest thing that I took for it. It taught a lot of good morals. I love the fact that Yoda came out and was talking to the younglings and teaching the younglings. And then, they had a it was one of those things like, here's some knowledge. Go figure it out on your own. They figure it out. You did a great job. And I that attitude is something that just isn't perceived in America no more. So it seems like all people do is just, kids are just all messed up. No, man, nobody's teaching these kids anymore. Like you can't whoop your kids. You can't do anything. Every time you try to do anything, they try to throw you in jail for it. So you need things like this that can inspire them from a young age. You need shows like this, and what better way to get it than Star Wars?
Yeah. Plus, you got to indoctrinate them young. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You got to get them hooked on Star Wars. I mean, dude, in all honesty.
Maybe indoctrinate's not the right word, but you know what I mean.
In all honesty, my 5-year-old grandson is the reason that this podcast even exists. My 5-year-old grandson is the one that came, because I was thinking about whether I wanted to do a podcast. I was looking at all the different options, and I seen how excited he was when I was watching Star Wars. And I said, that's what started Sway. I even give him all the credit in the end of the thing. It says this was created by Kenai Shed.
Right.
That's my youngest grandson, and because he's the one that created it all. It wouldn't be anything without him. I would have never thought to do a Star Wars podcast if it wasn't for him. And that started Sway, and then Sway boiled into LightSaber Radio, and then all the other stuff that's coming is all coming. So I owe him everything. We owe him everything. Because he's the one that I say, Star Wars is something that attracts people from all ages. We might not all agree on everything about Star Wars, but that Star Wars has something for everybody.
Right.
So, and I love Star Wars, so let's talk about some Star Wars.
Yeah, and I'm also really glad that like they're finding this like different way like of making like strictly kid shows, because like we've talked about this, like Bad Batch, for example. It's still a good show, but like when you try to balance kid and adult at the same time, it can be kind of tricky sometimes. So I like how they're doing a full focus kid show.
Yeah. Well, and then you really think about it, Bad Batch is going to be more, I'd say 10 to 15-year-old.
Right.
That's
a little bit older.
Be in that area.
Big time.
Adults, we can enjoy it because we grew up watching, the Clone Wars and Rebels, so we kind of appreciate the animation part. It takes us out of the live action stuff for a little bit. You get a different aspect of it. Then you get to come back to the live action.
Right.
But it's really based for somewhere in between 10 and 15. That's really what it's based for, because they still have morals in there. They still have a lot of lessons and stuff like that in there, things to do and not to do. You look at Omega, she's like 13, 14 now.
She's a dumbass.
Second batch,
yes.
So it's right around that. The first one, she was probably, 10 to 11. So it kind of fits that age range really, really well. And the things that they teach on it. Then you can tell too by the filler episodes. The filler episodes are standalone episodes that really don't have much to do with the story, but they're going to be entertaining to somebody in between 10 and 15 because they're not looking at the entire saga as it is. They're looking at small points. They got a small attention span. I mean, come on, they said the average kid got a 2-minute attention span. Our average teenager has a 2-minute attention span.
Yeah, they're not looking for deep, complex plots. They're just looking for like, hey, give me some quick, easy entertainment.
Yeah. So it's like, it's one of those things that it's, for them to come out with child shows like this that are meant for, you know, somebody 10 and under, you know, I would say more 3 to 5. Small children like my youngest grandson, he's going to enjoy it just because it's, you know, it's just a lot of colorful stuff going on. He don't understand what's going on with the show, but there's a lot of colors and the lightsabers and, you know, people flipping and doing stuff like that. That's going to entertain him. But it's really set up for somebody probably about 3 years old, and then once you maybe to 6.
You reckon 3 years old?
Yeah,
I think it's like
old, they're going to be able to understand a lot more by 3. They can kind of get the aspects of what's going on. Now, are they going to understand the total story? No, probably not. No. But it would be something like Yoda gets on to somebody about, you know, doing something, or the Jedi Master, whatever her name was. I forgot what her name was. But when she gets into the thing, that's something that a child might have went through already. Like, don't take from other people by the time they're 3 years old. So they're already getting, by the time they're 3, they're starting to learn, you know, don't touch hot stuff, don't steal people's shit, you know, don't bite people and hit people for no reason, and, you know, stuff like that. Because, you know, me just raising kids, we're having 4 kids, you know, that's about the time that you really start to notice that they understand. They're starting to understand basic concepts.
You kill me. I love you're talking about. These are important lessons that kids should learn. Don't steal people's shit. Like,
well, I mean,
just throwing shit in there.
I mean, and then that's like another thing. You know, people, don't cuss around your kids. None of my kids really are big cussers, and I cuss like a sailor. You know, I'm terrible at cussing. It's so hard when I'm doing the Sway podcast because I'll be wanting to cuss so much, and I'll be like, I can't say that. Because I wanted that to be something that was for everybody. The books are amazing, so I wanted kids to be able to hear that too. You know? And so I make sure that I don't cuss in the Sway podcast. We got Dion, J-Dogs in the house. What's going on, guys?
I just thought it was funny.
But, you know, I always cussed around my kids. And when they grew up, I always cussed around my kids. And they grew up, they're not big cussers. They think cussing is something that, you know, they have this concept, and it was probably something they were taught in school or they heard somewhere, that cussing is a lack of vocabulary. And actually, somebody told me that when I was younger, because they was like, why you cuss so much?
That is my mom's motto.
Yeah, cussing is just, you know, means you have a lack of vocabulary. And I'm like, dude, what are you talking about? I'm like, dude, I got 2 degrees. What are you talking about? But at the same time, I just look at them like filler words when I don't want to think too hard. It's easy to say shit to... Anything can be shit, so it's easier to say shit than it is to come up with a fucking word and have to think too hard.
That's true.
But having these type of TV shows, I think is essential for Star Wars. I really do. I think they're essential for Star Wars to attract younger viewership.
Yeah, and it's really going to increase the longevity of the franchise.
Well, like, you think about it like this. The first time you seen a lightsaber or somebody use the Force, that's what captivated us. You know what I'm saying? You're like, holy crap, that dude just picked up a rock and threw it at that guy. Or, you know what I'm saying? That guy was fighting with this big green thing. That's what captivated us.
Right.
And as small children, I mean, this show is based basically on the Force and lightsabers and stuff like that. Because, I mean, every episode had the Force and lightsabers in it, every single one. So they know what captivates young people. I mean, it was just like the first time I seen Star Wars when I was younger, and, you know, Luke lit that lightsaber, and I was like, oh my God, what is that? I want one of those. Can I get one of those? And then to see, you know, Darth Vader pick up stuff and throw it at Luke, and, you know, people using the Force to open doors and stuff. I still do it today. I'm 45 years old. I walk up into Walmart, I go, I just do it. It's natural instinct.
Hell yeah.
It's just because that's the things that captivated us, that made us Star Wars fans in the first place. And I think that's one of the biggest problems with the franchise in general, is because it's not that they got away from that, because it's still there. But I think that people forgot the fundamentals of what Star Wars was. There's all this arguing and bickering about stuff that don't even matter. Like, why does that matter? We got the Force, we got lightsabers, we got blasters, Mandalorians, starships, the far, far away. Do we got that? That's great. You know, now and I think one of the biggest problems that the fandom faces is people have this concept that just because it's Star Wars that you have to like it. I love Star Wars. I love all the Star Wars, but there's some things that I just particularly didn't care for.
Right.
looking at it as it's not even that I don't like it. It's just I know they could have done so much better. You know,
Right.
I know they could have done better than that. It seems like a lot of the stuff that they're putting out nowadays is rushed. And this didn't seem like it. And the storyline from, the beginning to the end, even though they were all basically kind of like standalone episodes, they all pushed to a same goal. And it was not too hard to figure out what the storyline was. It's about young Jedis, Padawans learning about the Force.
I mean,
and
it just felt like better thought out than
Yeah.
like some actual Star Wars shows, to be honest. Like you could tell they put some planning. It was well thought out. Like it was a well thought out, well planned, well executed show, and you could tell, which is kind of scary just because like some of the adult shows didn't seem that well thought out, to be honest.
And it gave kids the opportunity to understand not just about the show, but it came out on May the 4th. So now their parents can explain, oh, it's May the 4th.
Right.
And then they say it in the thing, May the 4th be with you. They say it in the show. Well, what is this? And then you get to explain that to the kids, and then the kids understand, and they understand about the holiday. It just has so many things that kind of fit in. And one of the things that was crazy, it changed our kind of... So back in the days, a lot of times it wasn't necessarily one master and one apprentice. They didn't have, or one Padawan. They didn't have that. It might be one master and several apprentices. And that's how this kind of was on this planet. If you go back to some of the older books, they talk about it. Or some of the Legends books. So for them to incorporated that in there and show like the different stages that a Jedi Padawan had to go through, because you had to go through a selection process once you got to a certain age. You had to be selected by a master. Well, they don't talk about that in the movies. They don't talk about that a lot in the animated series that we have. And for them to kind of explain that a little bit in this cartoon, that was like a good nod to the things that were going on.
Yeah, just a little bit of background lore and
yeah. A lot of people might not know about that, which is a great thing because I think that it shows more of an appreciation for the stuff that we really don't have time in some of the movies and things to settle into and show.
And for me, it was crazy that they had little elements like that in a flipping little kid show.
Yeah.
Like, wow, that it was like it really shows a lot of depth, I guess, and like it does a better job of like getting you into the story and getting you into this world. And the fact that they're putting that much effort into a little kid show is kind of surprising.
Well, I mean, because they're trying to attract new Star Wars fans. Star Wars, and it's sad to say, at one point there was almost 1 billion Star Wars fans. I think it was like the 2004 census that there was like almost 1 billion Star Wars fans worldwide. I think the last one that they looked at was less than 500,000 or 500 million Star Wars fans worldwide because of the toxic fandom. You know, people are trying to tell people what they have to and have to not like. You know, the bickering back and forth, the constant arguments about what is what and who is right and is it canon and is it legend. It deterred a lot of people away from Star Wars, which is not good for Disney. Disney still has to make money or it's not worth them to make Star Wars. Then they could sell it to a company could actually do better, or they could sell it to a company that just runs it into the dirt and don't care about none of it. You know, so it's one of those things that it's like we're on a balance beam and it could go either way. So for Disney to be smart, they need to put out stuff to attract new fans. And hopefully, you know, throughout time, the fandom will kind of get back, you know, to being supportive of each other, being supportive of own thoughts. And, you know, because you take, you know, 500 million people and you put them and they all watch the same episode, there are going to be arguments. I just don't understand why it got to go as bad as it does. Like, we have arguments on this show all the time about stuff.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's because we all have different aspects and different viewpoints, and we think about things differently. You're not into the animated
stuff. At the end of the day, though, people, like, say it's like Star Wars is toxic. I don't think it is. I think Star Wars is good at creating, like, it has disagreements, right? And I don't think it's special that Star Wars fans are toxic. I think that's just the world we're starting to see today. Like, go on Instagram. You're going to see just as much toxicity as any kind of Star Wars thing.
And that's another
Go
thing,
on
'cause
Twitter. Just as much. It has nothing to do with Star Wars.
It's just
Star Wars just is a platform that people can talk about. It's a franchise that people engage around. The toxicity has nothing to
it's
do
just
with
coming
Star
from
Wars.
people. It's just coming from people.
Yeah.
And I think, but it deters a lot of people from wanting
Oh,
to
I agree.
engage in the fandom. Which, you know, if you come in and you're a fair weather fan, and you're coming in and somebody can run you off just because they had a disagreement with you or they said something negative to you, you know.
I mean, you're being a bit of a
Yeah,
baby, but
you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you're being a bit of a baby because if you really love Star Wars, you're going to stick through it. You're going to stick through all. I mean, it's just like a professional team. You know, shit. The Celtics lost last night. You know what I'm saying? And but you have to support your team in the ups and downs. I'm a Broncos fan. When the Broncos was up, I was loving it. When they're down, I still love the Broncos.
right.
You know what I'm saying? I don't stop loving the Broncos. Just I might talk a little shit. Oh man, God, y'all suck, man. But I'm still gonna be a fan. And if somebody
Right.
talks shit about the Broncos, I'm like, remember Peyton Manning? Remember John Elway?
Heck yeah.
Remember the Crush? You know, it's just that's just the way it is.
Right.
I think people are taking it too personal. You know, it
I
shouldn't
think
be
I would
taken.
agree with
This is
that.
about living and having fun.
Oh, Clinton, he says, I know all about that. Go Cowboys. No.
yeah.
Cowboys are something different. No, you're disgusting. Just kidding.
But no, it's just, you know, it's about having fun. And I think there's a lot of people take away from that. You know, they take away from that because, dude, when I put on Star Wars, I'm not concerned about nothing else that's going on in the world. I'm concerned about Star Wars. That's all I care about. And anything that can put me into a position where I'm not thinking about my job, I'm not thinking about what my kids is doing, my
Right.
grandkids is doing, the rest of the world is doing, and I can just focus on watching Star Wars, and it can let my imagination run wild, and I can think up stuff and imagine being there and all that stuff. That's what it's all about. And can't nobody take that away from me. I don't care what you say. You could clown. I mean, somebody could get on here and just dog the shit out of LightSaber Radio and me and y'all. I might defend y'all, but I don't have to defend Star Wars. Star Wars is 45 years strong, and it's still going, and it's
Right.
going to continue to go until, you know, Disney just runs it into the dirt. But everything they come out with, I'm gonna watch it and I'm gonna enjoy it, even if I might get done with it. And I'm like, all right, I didn't really like that. I'm still gonna watch it. I'm still gonna enjoy it. I still watch Book of Boba Fett. Book of Boba Fett comes, like, you know what I'm saying? My son was sitting downstairs. He was watching Book of Boba Fett. I sat down and watched it with him. My youngest son, he watched the whole thing. I watched it all over again. I'm like, yep, didn't like it the first time, didn't like it the second time, didn't like it the third time. You know,
It got worse.
you know, but I'm gonna watch it because it comes on every time Star Wars comes on TV. I'll be flipping through channels. Oh shit! Even
Right.
if it's one of the sequel trilogy, I watch it because I'm a Star Wars fan. Doesn't mean I have to like everything that comes out about it, but I still like it, and I'm still gonna watch it because it's still Star Wars.
Right.
No matter what, there's nothing that they have put out that can't take you out of the moment and put you into a Star Wars mood. And that Star Wars mood is good. It gives you an adrenaline rush. You're like, oh yeah, Star Wars. You know, and that's what makes it so good. When I listen all day at work, I listen to audiobooks. That's all I do. I listen to audiobooks and I listen to other podcasts. That's it. Well,
Kyle
lately
works very hard.
I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos about Star Wars, but it's all about Star Wars. Everything I do is about Star Wars and dogs. I ain't gonna lie. I'm training a dog right now, so I've been watching some dog videos. See what new techniques have came out and stuff, which it's all about the same. I don't think it's ever gonna change. Now it's just nobody whoops their dogs no more. Like, what do you mean you don't whoop your dog? The dog peed in the house, praise it and give it a treat and just put it outside. No, you stick his nose in it. You know what I'm
Seriously.
saying? Beat his ass and stick him outside. What is this talking? What are y'all talking about? I'm not about to give my dog a treat for pissing in the house. What are you talking about? But it's all about the overall aspect of Star Wars. That's what makes it so fun. I mean, if you looked in the studio, I got lightsabers hanging up. I got I'm sorry, guys. I'm gonna do the video. I promise. I'm gonna do the video. I just gotta get time.
Someday.
I got little Vader over here. I got Darth Sway's outfit hanging on the wall. I got lightsabers and there's Star Wars stuff everywhere. Star Wars is amazing. A closet full of Star Wars clothes. That's just, you know, Star Wars is fun. And that's the biggest part. Star Wars is about having fun. And this show, the Young Jedi Adventure, was fun. It was just fun, entertaining. It wasn't meant to be, you know what I'm saying, I'm 45 years old, like I'm going to sit back and be like, oh, this is so mind-boggling. I don't understand what's going on. You know, this is so intriguing. It's not for me. It's for kids, but it's still a lot of fun. And that's the thing that I enjoy. A lot of people ask me, like, why do I like Rebels so much? Because at all the Star Wars, Rebels is probably my favorite out of everything, other than Revenge of the Sith.
Really?
I love Rebels.
We need to do like an all ranking sometime.
Yeah, I love Rebels so much. I watch Rebels so many times. And Rebels is probably the worst animation that you could get at all. Like Clone Wars, Rebels, Bad. Rebels is the worst. But it was something about the story. It was something about the concepts and the things that they were going through that just captivated my heart. Mm-hmm. Like, when Kanan died, I cried. I don't usually cry. I cry when Kanan died. I cry when Thrawn and Ezra took off into space. You know what I'm saying? When the Purgles took them off into space. Mm-hmm. I cried. Like, to see, I cried when, you know, Ezra was sitting there and he's looking at his parents that the Empire killed. I cried. Like, dude, this is, like, there was just so much more depth in Rebels than there was in Clone Wars. And it just captivated me. I was like, dude, I will watch it, and I will watch it over and over. I literally watch it at least once a year. I watch the entire series once a year, every year. I can't help it. It's too good.
You watch the entire series of Rebels?
The entire series of Rebels, all 5 seasons, I watch at least one time a year. At least once a year. Every year since it's been released. I watched it. Because it's just that good. I know them almost all by heart. It hurt me when Thrawn left. Thrawn is the shit to me. Thrawn is one of my favorite bad guys of all time. Because a dude that can conquer your entire planet by looking at your art, that dude is dope. You know what I'm saying? That's a dope dude.
That's
like,
insane.
He don't need no force abilities. He don't need no freaking lightsabers. He don't need none of that. He just needs to look at your art and he can figure out how to conquer you. Dude, that is smart. Him being a tactician like that, that's what got me. When people are talking about Thrawn, that's one of the biggest, like, why I'm so excited about Ahsoka, because Ahsoka's one of my favorite Jedis, and then we're going to get Thrawn. We're going to get a character that is super, super dope. You know what I'm saying? That somebody that can just, like, figure things out, like, and he's not really a bad guy. He just follows orders. When he was part of the Chiss Ascendancy, dude, he was the good guy. He was like fighting. He was doing everything he could. And the only reason they threw him out is because he didn't follow the rules. Because if he would have followed the rules, they would have got their ass whooped. They would have lost. And he knew that. So he sacrificed himself for the his entire species. He sacrificed himself. He didn't follow rules. He shot first. They're not allowed to shoot first. And he did it. And he saved them from the Chiss Ascendi being overthrown. They kicked him out. He goes to the Empire, or he gets picked up by the Empire. He meets the Emperor, right? The Emperor, he sees how bad this dude is, right? He knows how dope this Emperor is, how bad Palpatine is. Like, Palpatine's he took over the entire galaxy. Only thing he was like, I will follow everything that you tell me to do as long as you don't ever attack the Chiss Ascendancy. And that was the agreement. And then he went on to end up becoming Grand Admiral Thrawn. That's how much he's not a bad guy. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people look at him like he's a bad guy.
He's kind of a bad guy, but
he's kind of a bad guy.
He's the anti-hero. He's like the bad guy with a purpose, I guess. I don't know. What do you call that? Yeah, like an anti-hero kind of thing. He's not really
like the bad guy. He's the good guy, but he got stuck in a bad guy situation because he knew how powerful the bad guy was, and he was looking at what was going on, and he was like, I don't want these people to attack my people, so I will do whatever you ask, type thing. It was kind of like how Anakin got sucked into being Darth Vader. I will follow you, be my master, as long as you help Padme live. You know what I'm saying?
Help me save Padme.
And then Padme ended up dying anyway, so it just was waste of time.
Yeah.
He should have just went back to being like, as soon as Padme was there, it's like, why be Darth
Anakin
Vader?
and Thrawn are the same. Just Thrawn wasn't a dumbass.
But it's just one of those things that I enjoy, and like watching this Young Jedi Adventures, like just watching, like, I'm trying to think of their name. You got Kaya, Lias, Nubs, and Nash.
Mm-hmm.
Just
Kai,
watching.
what's Kai's last name again? It was like Star or something.
Yeah, Star something. Star something.
Star Crusher.
It was a
Star Blazer?
Easter egg that going back to Legends, because there's somebody in Legends called that. It's like, I'm looking at the thing, but they don't have his last name on here.
Bright Star.
Bright Star, yeah. But just watching them interact, watching the things that Kai does, and then they have like the little pirate kid. The kid, they could be fighting full-grown pirates, but they make a little pirate kid. I thought that was cool. Like, the little pirate kid is dope. You know what I'm saying? He's over here trying to be, and he got some like electro staff, and he's fighting against the lightsabers, and they're pretty good. They're all pretty good with their lightsabers and his little staff. I was like, dude, this is interesting. And then the like morals that they put in, like, was it episode 2? Yeah, episode 2, when he goes for his lightsaber instead of helping Nubs. You know what I'm saying? And Nubs falls. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It was good. Like, and Yoda explained to him. You know what I'm saying? You can get another lightsaber. You can't get another friend.
That was like the first episode, I think.
Was it the first? It might have been the first episode. I don't know.
I just remember him. It might have been beginning of the second.
Yeah, I think it was the beginning of the second. Because then at the end of the second is when Yoda gives him the little red and silver little Yoda lightsaber, his old lightsaber. He said.
Right.
Yeah, I think it was the second episode. But it was, that type of morals. Like, you can buy some more. I mean, you can get some more materialistic shit. You can't get a new friend. You know what I'm saying? Go save your friends, save people. You can replace objects. And that's really good for a kid to understand that. Like, you can get a new toy. Are you really going to fight your friend over this toy? You're going to lose your friend over a toy.
Right.
And them type of things, they don't teach those things in school no more. In school, they just, kids getting fight, they in kindergarten, then you charging them with assault because they got into a fight over a toy. You know what I'm saying? Now both of these kids' lives is fucked up because you charge them with assault.
Seriously.
You know what I'm saying? That's how bad it is. I seen a TikTok today where this guy was talking about, the differences between now and, back in the, even in like in the early 80s, 90s, and 2000s. Like, people honored, you got up and you said the Pledge of Allegiance. And you did it with pride. You know what I'm saying? You fought for the American. You were patriotic. Even as a kid, we were patriots. We were happy to be American. Right. Now, only 30% of people in the United States believe in being patriotic. 30%. Yeah. It's terrible. But you have shows like this that teach them morals and their foundations to young children, and hopefully that as they grow and they get more into Star Wars and they see more about hope and friendship and family and stuff like that, we can gain some of this stuff back. We can get some of that patriotism back. We can get some of that family values back. 20% of people thought that family values was important. 20% of Americans think family values is important. That's terrible.
I know exactly what you're talking about, that research poll. And just like it was literally just in the 90s, that was like one of the most important things for Americans. And now it's like bottom.
And I think the guy was actually talking about guns because, you can go buy a gun anywhere. And back in the 80s and 90s, you could have fully automatic machine guns. You could have an M60. Yeah. You could go to the store and buy it. And
there were no mass shootings.
Less murders then than there is now when you can't even have them type of guns.
Which is crazy.
It's not the guns, it's the people's morals and
like
and
whatever side you are on politics, like the world has gone downhill.
And it's not just here in America. The whole world has gone downhill. I mean, the whole world is becoming, and I am one of the people that's I've seen the adjustment. I've seen the change. Because I seen when we had rotary phones when I was little. You didn't have no damn computer. You didn't even know what a computer was. We didn't have cell phones that you could call around the world. We didn't have none of that shit. and I've seen how the world has changed. And you know, I am a big proponent of the internet. I think the internet is one of the greatest things that's ever been created in this world, because now I can talk to somebody in China. We're doing a podcast right now. We're talking to people from all over the country or all over the world, who, just depending on where everybody's at. You couldn't do that shit when I was younger. You couldn't get information at all. So I'm a big proponent of the internet. The ability to find out just about anything within minutes is freaking phenomenal. But it also has the bad side, and that's, you know, the social media and the hate and all that. And I don't think that there's enough people that's attacking that situation. And I give Disney props. I might not be the greatest fan of Disney, but to come out with a show like this, it shows morals and stuff. If 10 people decide to, you know what I'm saying, be nice on Instagram tomorrow because they watched this show, and then it might trickle off, and it might make things better. If 10 people are nice, and then the people that they're nice to is nice to people, I mean, it's like opening a door for somebody. Every single day I try to do like 10 things that's just like open a door for somebody, you know, tell somebody good morning, you know, tell people, you know, just something that you don't, because you don't see it anymore. Women walk up to the doors and dudes just stand there. Like, you gonna get that door, bitch? You know what I'm saying? It's like, dude, open the door for
No,
them.
but nowadays, like, it's almost like the women will get mad at you if you open the door for them.
It's crazy. But you would be surprised when you just say good morning to people, or you do open the door for some. Some people might get mad, but most people, you open the door for them. You know, just them little gestures, you know, say thank you. You know, just, you know, you can't tell a woman she looks nice today. You might get me too. You know what I'm saying? You know, you'd be in prison because you say, "Oh, you look nice today." Can't do that. But you know what I'm saying? There's other little gestures that you can do. You know what I'm saying? Right. And it doesn't just necessarily have to be women. Just anybody, and it makes me feel better. I don't even give a shit about everybody else.
Big time.
Really, yeah. But it makes me feel better.
Being a good person makes you feel better.
Yeah, it just makes me feel better.
Thanks for coming to my TED Talk, by the way.
The Star Wars team leader said you couldn't even have a beeper in school as a kid. Now you can get sent home. Now you get sent home if you don't have your phone or tablet to use.
Seriously, it's so weird.
I got suspended for getting beeps in school in the 90s.
You had a beeper's a pager, right?
Yeah,
like,
a pager.
Okay, that's what I thought. I wanted to make sure because I am a little young for that, but.
Dude, it's
y'all
crazy.
had pagers in high school?
Yeah, I had a pager in high school.
Oh, wow.
How do you think people got a hold of you? Shit, in my high school, they had payphones in the hallway.
Oh, yeah.
They had payphones in the hallway that you could use.
That makes sense.
So you get beep in class, you had to put that shit on silent and vibrate on your hip or in your pocket, because everybody used to flip the clip out, and you had the pager in your pocket. You flip the clip out so you could see the clip, and then you get a page, you look down at it, hit the button, and then it was always like 911 or 411 or whatever the code that they had to put in it. That means it was important. So then you be like, hey, Miss Champion, can I go to the bathroom, please? And then you go out the hallway and use the payphone.
You use the payphone.
But now, like, dude, my son got in trouble because
now I'm having a full-on conversation in class.
Yeah, I mean,
on my little phone.
Like, by the time, like, I wouldn't even know how to act if I had to go 8 hours without my phone. Like, what the hell would I do now? Like, I can't go 8 hours with my phone. She almost got into an accident the other day because I was watching YouTube videos and driving.
While driving, you fucking.
I almost got into an accident on the way home from work. I don't touch my phone when I'm at work, especially if I'm driving. If I'm driving a trash truck, I won't touch my phone.
Oh, fuck no. With how big that thing is? I'm
not one of those people that's good at, I can't multitask like that. I can't do it. It doesn't work. I can't multitask. I used to be able to be really good at it, but I can't drive and look at my phone. I'll be to kill somebody. But yeah, I don't know. It was just a really good. It made me feel good to watch it. And that's the most important thing. What type of feeling do you get off of what you watch? If you watch something and you get no emotions off of it, it's probably not that good, to you. Some other people, they get emotions off of something. They like, oh, I really like this. It made me feel this way. It made me feel happy or sad or whatever it made you feel. If it doesn't spark an emotion, the writer didn't do a good job. And everybody has a different emotional state. So, you know, if it works for some people and it doesn't work for it, that's okay. It's okay for us to everybody not to like something. You know,
disagreements are okay.
They are. The disagreements are okay. I don't know why that's such a big deal now. Nowadays, people getting a disagreement on TikTok and then they kill themselves. Like, what the hell? Somebody committed suicide because they had a disagreement? Holy shit.
It's crazy.
And we read about it every day in the papers, on news mostly, because I don't think anybody reads the paper anymore. But, you know, we read, you know, news articles on our phones and stuff. And it's crazy how many kids is committing suicide because somebody said they was fat or they had ugly hair or something like, or they had a disagreement about a shoe. Crazy. Like somebody killed somebody because somebody got killed over Jordans. Like back in my days, you used to get killed because somebody was stealing your Jordans. Now people are killing themselves because somebody talks shit about Jordans, like they're Jordans. Like, dude, really? You killed yourself? Like, oh my God, what is the world coming to? And it's sad. It's so sad. I sit back and look at it, and I worry about my kids. I worry about my grandkids. I do. I worry about them because I'm like, dude, the world is so much different than it was when I was a kid.
Right.
Like when I was a kid, you had a disagreement, you got into a fight. You won or you lost. You know what I'm saying? That was it. There wasn't nothing more to it. You live to see another day. Nowadays, kids get in a disagreement and shoot each other in the face. Like, first off, where did y'all get guns at? You know what I'm saying? Second off, why? What the hell? And it just ruins everybody's life. That's why when my kids was young, I taught them about cause and effect. Always think about everything that you do before you do it, because you got to look at how this could affect you and all the people around you, how it could affect the other people that's involved and their families. You got to think about all of that before you make a decision. Don't ever make decisions based on your emotions, because if you make decisions based on your emotions will always fail you. So, but you look at these kids, you take this kid, they end up like there's factual data that has shown grown people, not just kids, grown people shooting each other over Star Wars. There's been murders over Star Wars. Not only did you just ruin your life, now you're going to prison.
I'm just kidding.
You ruined your whole family's life because you're in prison. Whoever you shot and killed, you don't ruin their life. Their life is gone. Now their whole family has to go through things. You know what I'm saying? They're heartbroken and just beat up over the fact that their loved one is gone. That's a lot to deal with. It's not just about you and the other person. It's about a whole bunch of people that's involved, because you done involved all these other people over something like a disagreement because it wasn't canon. Like literally there was a guy in Texas that got killed because he said that Legends wasn't canon and the other guy shot him. I read an article about it. It happened about 5-6 years ago. And I was reading an article. I said, really, you shot somebody over Star Wars? Like, dude, I've seen big fights in like the Broncos and Raiders. I've seen some fights. You know what I'm saying? When the Broncos and Raiders play each other, the fans go nuts. They be fighting everywhere. But over Star Wars, over one of the most amazing things ever created in time, and you literally took somebody's life because they disagree with you about Star Wars. That's just freaking crazy.
It's crazy.
But it happens.
The world we live in.
It just happens. But I think a show like this, with the fundamentals that it provides for younger people, if the parents just watch it with them, teach them, show them the things that has happened with it, I think it could go a long way. I think it would be a great thing to do, help young people kind of get that push in the right direction. That's why I'm giving it.
But at the same time, nothing can replace actual parenting, though. So that's why I like what you said, where it's like, watch it with your kids and teach them.
Yeah, teach them. And then move
because
them on up through
no show is going to substitute a parent.
Oh, no.
Parent telling their kid, hey, go watch TV, mommy's busy.
And by no means am I the best parent in the world. I don't
Right. And I'm not saying that. I just wanted to.
Yeah, my kids, I love my kids. I did pretty good so far. 3 of them graduated. I got 1 more to go. Yeah, they ain't doing it. Like my oldest daughter got 2 kids already. She's 23, 2 baby daddies. My youngest daughter, she's doing pretty good. My oldest son, he's going through some things, and my youngest son is a pothead now. He just wants to get high. So it's like, dude, you know, I
Smoke weed.
one of the biggest things I got into an argument with a guy about that. Dude, people are like, there's so many books. Most of the books that are written about people raising kids don't have no kids. And every kid is different. Every single one of my kids is totally different than each other. They're nothing alike. So what worked with one of my kids didn't work with the other kids. So now you got to relearn how to do everything. You got to try different things. Like, and I wasn't ever I didn't whoop my kids like that. My dad didn't whoop me. We didn't get whooped like that. Yeah, I didn't do all that.
Kyle, you strike me as someone who got their ass whooped.
I didn't. Nah. My parents didn't shit. By the time I was like 13, I was running the streets doing whatever I wanted. Only thing my mom used to say is, you're just like your dad. When I come home, I'd be all beat up and shit. I'd be out fighting and drinking and, you know, doing dumb shit. And my mom used to just be like, you're just like your dad. I'm crawling through the front door half beat to death. You know what I'm saying? You're just like your dad. Because my dad was a barroom brawler. That's what my dad did. That was his fun. He'll go to the bar, get drunk. And that's back in the day when you could go to the bar. Everybody just get them fighting, and then they start drinking again. And have like nothing happened. It was normal. That's how men reacted. That's how men did things. Your life sucked, man. You was working a job you didn't want to work. Your wife was complaining all the time. You go to the bar. You get drunk with your buddies. Everybody gets into a big-ass fight, tear up the bar, then everybody cleans it up and starts drinking again. You just got rid of all your problems. You just got all your anger out. Nobody was mad at nobody. Nobody killed nobody. Nobody did none of that shit. Everybody just went back to doing what they were doing.
Fight Club.
You know what I'm saying? That's the difference. So, but I never got whoopings when I was little. Like, I mean, I've got whooping, you know, I've got whooped, you know, a few times, but it was never, my dad didn't believe in that stuff. He didn't believe in that. They just let me learn on my own.
I remember getting my ass spanked.
You know, they'll let you go. Now, one thing my mom used to do, my mom used to have real long fingernails. And you'd be in the back seat of the car. And you'd be talking stuff, and she'll be telling you to stop, and you just keep doing it, and she'd reach around and smack you, and she'd claw you with them goddamn long-ass nails. Fuck your ass up. You have big ass look like fucking Wolverine that got a hold of your ass. Like, oh, that shit was stinging and shit.
What?
But that
my
only happened
mom's favorite move was getting dad's belt, but...
But, you know... And I didn't whoop my kids. Like, when they got older, you know, I spanked them when they was little a few times. But when they got older, you know, my oldest daughter tried to fight me. Shit, my youngest daughter kicked me in the nuts one time. My oldest son, he tried to fight me. You know what I'm saying? Kids do that shit. I don't know why everybody tried to fight me for it. Like, I guess they just all thought I was a pushover because I let them get away with everything. Because I was like, you're going to figure it out. You have no choice. That's the way the world is. You don't have to do all that, you know, beat your kids half to death and all that. They gonna figure it out. The world is hard. You keep on making mistakes, you're gonna figure it out. Because you're gonna get smacked upside the face and you're gonna be like, oh shit, I need to change some things. And that's basically what happened. You know, my daughter got pregnant at 17. She was like, oop, gotta be a mom. Like, I better get this high school diploma, better get this shit done. And she jumped on top of it and she got everything done, and she was good. And she's a great mom. Goes to work every day, takes care of handles her business. My son, he just realized that he didn't want to be broke. He was like, I don't want to be broke. I got to change my things. I didn't have to do anything. I just let the world train. I just gave them the information and let them figure it out on their own. Mm-hmm. You know, because that's most kids at teenage, they ain't listening to you anyway. So, you know, by the time you hear, I didn't listen to my parents. I did whatever the hell I wanted, and I turned out all right. You know. I got 2 degrees, done did voice acting, done did a lot of stuff that a lot of people can dream about doing. And a lot of it was just, being in the right place at the right time and just trying. Once I started having kids, once my kids got here, that's when I really, really settled down. I said, I need to focus more on the things I do. And you got to remember, I haven't always been around. You know what I'm saying? I was gone a lot. So a lot of that stuff falls on my ex-wife and my wife now, because they did a lot of it. They did most of the training. That shit, they beat the hell out of my kids. I used to feel sorry for the kids. Like, ooh, shit. Ooh, your mama get, ooh, God. And they get whooped, and then I love on them. And then my wife would be mad at me because I would love, oh, come here, baby. I'm so sorry. Oh, yeah. I was a big pushover. And I'm the same way with my grandson. My grandson,
so funny.
we wake up in the morning. And when my grandson, my oldest grandson was the youngest, he'd wake up, wife would be gone, daughter would be gone, and he'd wake up and he'd be like, Big Pop, because that's what my grandkids call me, is Big Pop. He said, Big Pop, can we have ice cream for breakfast? Let's do it, whatever you want. We had ice cream for breakfast and cookies, and, you know, I'm a big pushover when it comes to my kids and my grandkids. I've always been. I'm a big pushover when it comes to everybody. I don't like being angry. I hate being angry. I want to be happy. That's what I love about Star Wars so much. Star Wars makes me happy. You know, I can sit back and watch Star Wars and go play with my puppy, and I'm happy. That's all I need. I'm content. Do some podcasts,
Right.
talk about the things that I care about. You know what I'm saying? I'm happy. Talk to my kids. Spend time with my grandchildren. I'm a simple person. I don't need all this big fancy stuff. I learned a long time ago, happiness is a choice.
Mm-hmm.
You either choose to be happy or you choose to be angry. And I
Dude,
hate
and
being
that's
angry.
tough. That's tough, but like it's so true. It's so hard to like accept, but it's so true.
It's a lot easier to be happy than it is to be angry.
Right.
Like if you ever watch, you know how, like, say you and your girlfriend or your wife or whatever get into an argument.
My girlfriend,
go to
yeah.
sleep,
My
you
other
are
girlfriend.
drained. You are so tired when you get into an argument. You know what I'm saying? You wake up the next morning, you're tired. It just drains you. But when you're happy, you're always full of energy. You know what I'm saying? You feel better.
Right.
So I chose a long time ago just to be happy. It's a choice. And basically happiness is a choice. Every emotion is a choice. You either choose to do it or you choose not to do it. And people's like, oh man, people can make you angry. Yeah, they can make you angry, but you could also choose to shut off the anger and turn back on the happiness. Find something that makes you happy. Like what makes me happy is looking at pictures of my grandkids. Like I got pictures every morning, and this is what the psychologist told me, which I already knew because I went to school for psychology, but because of MS, when you get diagnosed with MS, they make you talk to a counselor because there's so many people that commit suicide on MS. Like that's who Dr. Kevorkian was, MS and ALS. That's the people he was helping commit suicide. So you have to talk to a counselor. So I talked to the counselor lady, and she's like, just take, you know, a picture of your grandkids, something that makes you want to live. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sitting there like, lady, I don't want to kill myself, so this ain't important. I love me too much to kill me.
I love you.
But, you know, her just going over it, you know what I'm saying? She was like, so every single morning I get up, and that's the first thing I do is I look at videos and watch videos of my grandkids, and I look at pictures, and it just makes me happy. And then I get on TikTok and stuff, and I look at all the great Star Wars memes, and I laugh, and you know, I post some stuff, and I always try to post stuff that's either inspirational or funny. Because it makes life more enjoyable. I want people to be
100%.
happy. I don't want nobody to be fucked up and sad, and fuck that. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't like that. I want people to be happy. And Star Wars makes me happy. That's why we do a Star Wars podcast, because it makes us happy. So I want to make other people happy talking about it. You know, maybe I'll say something that'll change somebody's mind or change somebody's opinion, or, you know, whatever it may be. And that's kind of what this show is based on. I mean, not just this show, but the Tales of the Young Jedi Adventures. It's about just teaching you life lessons and making people happy. You know, let's make people happy. Look at the one little show where they're in the race. And they race in, and then they help each other pull the ships out so they can finish the thing, and the girl wins. She was like, I'll get you next, but they're all smiling, they're all happy, they work together. Everything worked out. It was just nice. It was so nice, and it was refreshing to see somebody, instead of saying, oh, I'd rather burn in hell than help you. You know what I'm saying? Let's just help each other. Just the fundamentals was just so nice. It just made you feel good. And I hope the new Rey movie makes me feel good.
And back to reality.
But overall, I gave it an 8. I really enjoyed it, and I'm giving it an 8 more or less for. If I was rating it as an adult, it'd probably be a 6 because it's just not really adult. You know, it's not for adults. But for kids, it made me feel like a kid again. I tried to view it like if I was, you know, like 5, 6 years old, and I was watching it watching it for the first time. I tried to view it like that. And overall, I gave it 8. I thought it was very cute. I thought it was well done. I thought the stories was really good. And I thought that the morals that it taught were excellently chosen. The morals that they push is some of the morals that this world really needs to have back.
Yeah. Clinton's comment kind of made me laugh. He goes,
What?
I never got whooped. My mom just said, wait till your dad gets here. And he never showed up. that made me kind of laugh. That's so sad, but Clinton, you delivered that perfectly. He's like, yeah, I'm just kidding. My dad, fuck you, Clinton. I'm just kidding. He's like, my dad once whooped me 25 times, then I was grounded for 6 months. My mom was worse than my dad. Yeah, my mom was worse than my dad, too.
That's because, man, we're just big pushovers. We're not really, like, I
mean,
be hearing about stories like, your dad did what? Like, dude, your dad
My dad would yell, but my dad never, like, tried to hit me because he was like, my dad was big, dude, so he wasn't about to, like.
Well, and see, that's the thing. I think a lot of it comes down to that. Because when you think about it, like, I didn't want to hurt my kids. Like,
Right.
I've seen what I've done to grown-ass men. Like, I don't want to hit my kid. What if I actually hit him too hard? You know what I'm saying? My kid will die. You know what I'm saying? Like, so I didn't want to hit my kid. I didn't like doing it. I used to make them do open rinks. That's the most worst shit. You want to punish, you have kids, you want to punish your kids, make them do open rinks. My kids hated that shit.
Make them do what?
Open rinks where you got to stand there with the arms out like this.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Dude, my kids hated that shit. That's how I used to punish my kids. I'm like, do open ranks. How long I got to do it for? Till I tell you to stop. I just leave them there for like 20 minutes, hold their arms up, they be crying. Ah. They hated that shit worse than they were like, can you just please whoop me? Nope, do some open ranks.
Damn. That's a good idea. How do you get them to do it? They just be like, no, fuck you. And they just run away.
My kids didn't say no because I'd be like, I'll tell your mom.
Oh.
And my ex-wife and my wife did not play that shit. Shit, that whoop.
Mom was scary one.
One time my wife came home and whooped me and the kids.
I'm sorry, honey.
My dumb ass. So I was looking in the freezer. And I don't know where the hell these things came from, but there was some shrooms in the freezer.
Oh, jeez.
And my wife, like, her mom took her to the hospital or something. Something was going on with her. But I couldn't go because I was high on shrooms, so I stayed with the kids. And then just me playing with the kids was like the most amazing day of my entire life. Like, I had so much fun.
Shrooms.
I was like, they was jumping off the furniture. They broke the coffee table. Shit was hilarious. I said, this is the greatest day ever. It was so much fun.
Oh, man. That's going to
like,
be a goal of mine now, Kyle.
Huh?
That's my goal, is like get high on shrooms and play with my kids.
It was the greatest. Like, still to this day, I have never had more fun than that in my entire life.
Wow.
Like, there's nothing that I've been to Disneyland, I've been to other countries, I've been all around the United States, did so much stuff. I raced BMX, I've skateboarded, that night was the most fun that I ever had in my entire life. Like, that's one memory that I will never lose. I will never lose that memory. And when my wife came home, she whooped me, she literally whooped me with a belt.
And it was so worth it.
She was hitting me with the belt. I'm holding my arm up. She's hitting me with the belt, and I'm laughing because everything is fucking funny because I'm on shrooms. Even though it hurt, she beat us all because we broke the coffee table, the couch was broke, there was a bunch of broke shit. You know what I'm saying? It was fucking hilarious. It was the most fun I ever had ever. It was all worth it. And like, she was whooping the kids for breaking the coffee table, and then I was laughing, and I wouldn't stop laughing, so she started hitting me with the belt. I was like, why you hitting me? I'm an adult. And she was like, yeah, you acting like an adult right now. You acting like one of the kids. I'm gonna hit you like one of the kids. I was like, but it was like, that was one of the greatest days of my entire life. I would never forget. And my kids was all, I think my youngest son was like 1 or 2, so he was just a little baby, and then my other daughter was like 6, and then my other kids were like 10. And it was just like the most fun ever. That was the most fun I ever had. That, and the first time that I sit down, all my kids, we all sit down, got popcorn and everything, and we watched Star Wars for the very first time. It was 2 days.
Yeah.
It was 2 days that just was like the greatest thing ever. It was like just the best feeling to sit there and watch my kids say, wow, when the Force happened, or the lightsabers, and even they was talking shit like, Dad, this is boring, because, we watched New Hope first. And, New Hope is kind of boring.
Because you watch New Hope first. And everybody knows New Hope is
and drawn out at the beginning until you get towards the end, and then the exciting stuff starts happening. But, just sitting there watching with it, it was like one of the most amazing things for them to tell me that they like this. And I was like, I knew it.
He's like, I've succeeded as a father.
But that's what this gave me. It gave me that type of feeling. Like, I really wish my grandkids and my kids was here for me to watch it with them. I really do. Shit, me and my brother-in-law was sitting there watching. My brother-in-law is 51 years old. We're sitting there watching fucking Young Jedi Adventures. He was like, hey, this is a pretty good show. What is this?
How high were you? How high were you?
I went high.
Ah.
He might have been high, but I wasn't high. But I can't smoke. Man, I wish I could smoke. I can't smoke. I fucking smoke. I'll suck for the next 3 months. I can't do it. And I only take an edible every great once in a while when I'm just, like, I had to take one in Colorado just because my medicine, I don't know if it was the altitude or something, but I was feeling really fucking bad. I was like, dude, I gotta do something. I'm hurting bad. So I grabbed an edible, ate it, and then I was cool until right after we got off the podcast, and then it made me sick. And I just threw up everywhere, and I was like, what the hell? I don't know what it was. But my oldest son, the last time he went back to Colorado, he got sick. It made him real sick. I don't know if it's just the altitude switch or whatever, being so high up.
I don't know.
But yeah, I don't know. I can't do anything.
Y'all the first ones to legalize it, so I don't know what the
Clint says I smoke every damn my whole life. Well, hopefully I will. And it's just good. Well, and another reason I don't smoke is because I have a CDL. And if you get, they got that new it's called a clearinghouse thing. If you get caught with marijuana in your system and you fail a piss test with the clearinghouse, that shit goes on your clearinghouse register. That's nationwide. So even though I ain't got to worry about it like that, because saying that's not what I do, but if I got caught, I would lose my CDL, and then it would go nationwide. You would never be able to get a job using your CDL again. For at least for 5 years. It takes 5 years for it to go off your record. So for the next 5 years, you're screwed. So it's just not worth it.
Right.
Plus, I've never been like, the last time I got high, like smoked some weed, like I smoked at my wedding. I don't even remember my wedding. Like at all. And then I smoked, the biggest one when my oldest daughter was a baby, I smoked, and I couldn't feel her breathing. Like, and I flipped the fuck out. Like I couldn't feel her breathing. I thought she was dead. I flipped the fuck out.
Damn.
And ever since then, I don't know. I don't like the way it makes me feel. I get all paranoid and I feel all fucked up. I can't talk. I can't think. I'm too creative for that. Like, I'm always creating. And when I get high, I'm just fucking stupid. I'm just one of the people that's just dumb. Like, I'm just high. Somebody asks me a question, I'll say, what? The sky is blue. I asked you what kind of gas the car took. I'm that person. So it's one of those things that you learn as you grow. There's some people out there, like my little brother, that motherfucker smokes weed every goddamn day. He be fucking at work high. That motherfucker works 10 times better high than he does fucking sober.
Yeah.
Like, if he's fucking sober, he sucks. Like,
I know those guys too. Like, that's just, it helps them function. But
yeah, and I can't. I'm the exact opposite. I smoke weed, and for the next month, I suck at everything. Like, I can't do it. It's just, it fucks my damn brain up. So you just, as you grow, you learn who you are. My thing was drinking, and it sucks that I can't drink no more. Like, it's fucking terrible. I love to drink. Boy, I drink like I used to get up in the morning, fucking drink before I went to work, drink at work, drink when I got off work. I fucking loved alcohol. But it never, like, I wasn't like, I would say I'm an alcoholic because I drank all fucking day long, but I never got drunk. Like, I would never get drunk. I'd just get that little buzz and just keep that buzz. I like just to have buzz. I didn't like being drunk. I just like to have that little buzz. Like, right when you start feeling it kicking in, I tried to keep it right there all the time. And I got pretty good at it for a long time. But then, when I moved down here, first off, like, I thought it would be better because I'm in a lower altitude. So I'm like, oh, shit, I'm going to be able to drink way more. Nope, that shit didn't work. I got fucked up. And then now that I'm on this medication, I can't do shit. Like, I literally drank like one shot, fell off the fucking couch, bust my face on the coffee table. like, and I have cameras in my house, so you know what I'm saying, it was on videotape, so my brother-in-law, my wife, and everybody, my son, and everybody was watching it over and over and over again. I just like, like, no, that's it, I'm done. I got teased, so I got teased for like a month. They kept calling me lightweight. Like, before I took this medicine, I could drink all y'all under the table. Now I can't even drink a shot without busting my face. Yeah, it's just, I don't know. I think at a certain age, you just grow out of shit. I like not drinking now. Like, at first, I was like, this is going to suck. I have to quit drinking. Because it says right on the bottle, do not drink. I said, oh, yeah, they all say that shit. And then I drank, and I got fucked me up. But
for me, it's like the high after I leave the gym.
Yeah.
Like, after you exercise, like, and you push yourself, that's what I like. That feeling right there. Ooh.
That's a great feeling.
Yeah.
I used to love that feeling, especially after I. No, I didn't ever take liquids. I took the pills. These are just pro hormones. This shit is steroids. I got gained 100 pounds in a month. What are you talking about? I'm fucking huge.
All natural, baby.
I went from I think I was like 169, 170 up to 250 in 3 months.
Shit. How tall are you?
6 foot.
Oh, damn.
I was fucking big. I was fucking big. I couldn't even wipe my ass no more.
Fuck, that's huge, dude. What?
I was fucking big. I still got stretch marks, and that shit was 20 years ago. I was so big, but the crazy thing is what they don't tell you. Yeah, you look good, but what they don't tell you is when you, and I was taking pro hormones. I was buying this shit at a store. There was a store called Max Muscle in Denver. It was owned by Carl Mecklenburg and his son. And, but they say it was pro heroin, then they outlawed it and said this shit is steroid, you can't use this shit. But I've already had used it. I already took a cycle and I grew fast. But what they don't tell you is, yeah, you might get big as shit, but your legs and your ankles and your joints is gonna hurt so bad because you didn't slowly grow.
Right.
Let
you're
your
like, and your
everything.
like ligaments didn't grow with it. Like,
oh man,
it was just your
man,
muscles.
my freaking knees and ankles hurt so bad. Oh, that shit was terrible. I was big as shit. And the only reason I did it because I was going to buy a motorcycle. Because I bought a motorcycle and I wanted to be buff to ride my motorcycle in the summertime.
What?
That's the only reason I did it. That was all it was. I bought a motorcycle. I was like, I'm about to get buff so I can ride a fucking motorcycle. And that was it. That's the only reason I did it.
You're
you
crazy,
can't be
bro.
Skinny ass dude. Like back then, my hair was long. And I was like, I'm going to be buff, long hair, just flowing on my bike. You know what I'm saying? All the women is gonna be fucking.
Bro, I would kill to see a picture of this.
Shit, I would kill to see that shit. I think my ex-wife burnt all of them. I only got 2 pictures of my dog. My first dog that I trained for weight pulling. I only got 2 pictures of him. I can't find no other pictures of him. When me and my ex-wife split up, yeah, she did some bad shit. She basically took a bunch of my pictures, all my football cards. I had like Joe Montana's rookie card, Walter Payton's rookie card. She put them all in the bathtub and burnt all that shit. Burnt everything. I had Michael Jordan's rookie card in there.
My dad has one.
I had a Mickey Mantle. That shit, like back then, that shit was like worth like almost like $1 million then. I could just imagine what it's worth now. So I had been collecting football cards. Well, I got my dad's football, baseball, and basketball cards because my dad collected, and he gave them to me. And then I had them for years, and then my ex-wife burnt them all. All my pictures, I have like one baby picture of myself because my mom gave me all my baby pictures and stuff.
Right.
And
damn, dude, she went scorched earth on your ass.
So, but. And just, like people said back, that's one of the things I hear people talking all the time. They be like, oh, that bitch. Dude, it always takes 2 people. Like, I wasn't the best husband. You can't come home and call your wife a bitch every day and expect her to be a fucking good wife. You know what I'm saying? Like, bitch, why the house ain't clean? Fuck, what the hell's wrong with you? You know what I'm saying? It took me a long time and a lot of growth to become the person that I am today. I went through just like everybody else. You know, and that's why I tell my kids, you're gonna go through a lot of things. You have to learn. You know, you learn from mistakes. You don't learn from successes. You learn from your mistakes. You make a mistake, don't do that shit again. Right. And you know, like now, me and my wife that I have now, we great. We barely ever argue. You know,
I think that's one of the things about today is like people. It's harder for them to take responsibility, and because they don't take responsibility, they don't learn from those mistakes.
That's definitely a possibility because you know, you hear about like the people on social media, and we've seen it. You know, everybody got social media. Somebody says something fucked up to you, you say something fucked up back, and it goes back and forth. You're arguing on social media. You don't even know who this person is.
Endless cycle.
and people say fucked up shit to you. And you don't think about the consequences of the fucked up shit you say back. You don't think about this person. You know, you don't think about what they're going through in their life. And it just kind of messes everything up, you know. And I think that that's one of the things that really need. I'm a big proponent. I mean, shit, we do a podcast, you know. I mean, you got to have free speech. But I think there's some point that you got to put some regulations on some shit and say, hey, you know, this is not okay to say this.
On free speech?
Okay. Not on free speech so much. I'm just saying on like hate speech and shit like that. Like there's a lot of nasty shit being said. And you're saying it to somebody, you don't know this person's situation. This person might be, you know what I'm saying, homeless, you know, or because shit, you see homeless people with cell phones all the damn time. You ain't got nowhere to live, but you got a cell phone. It blows my mind, but you don't know their situation. You don't know what they've been through in their life.
Right.
And that's why I try to look at people. Once I see people that's angry, I'll tell you one thing, and it fucks people up. It makes my wife mad, too, all the time, because people say something fucked up to me, and I just be like, yeah, I love you, too. I just tell everybody I love them all the time. I say the shit all the time. And my wife be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Because that shit just diffuses the situation. It's hard to be mad at somebody that tells you that I love you. She gets mad at me when we argue, and I'll be like, I love you. I'm trying to yell at
fuck you.
I love you. I just keep saying it. It just diffuses the situation, makes shit easier. And fuck, the world needs more love in it. And that's one thing that used to be so great about the Star Wars community, because everybody loved each other. And then all of a sudden, it just went to shit for some reason. I don't know. Just people just stopped caring about each other's feelings. Like you didn't. If you said you didn't like the sequel trilogy, then somebody was like, oh, man, I thought it was great. And then you would discuss what it was, like what I liked about it and disliked about it. And they would discuss it. It wasn't no big deal.
People can't disagree anymore. It's so sad.
You say, I don't like the fucking sequel trilogy. I'll fucking whoop your ass. Like, what the hell? Jesus Christ, I love you, man. I love you.
I love you.
Like, because I'm too old to be fighting now. I don't fight no more. If I get to that point, I'm gonna shoot you. So you know what I'm saying? I'm not doing all that fucking fighting no more. I'm too old. It takes too long to heal. Last time somebody hit me in the fucking eye, it took like 2 months for that shit to go back to the normal. Well, I said, no, I ain't doing this no more. I'm too old.
Does it really take that long now?
It took a long ass time. Shit, the other day I had a
I'll
bruise
bounce
on my
back
leg.
in like 2 days.
That's because you're young.
I know.
I got the other day I was.
That's
on
what I have to look forward to.
I was on the truck. I was on the back of the truck, and I threw the bag in or whatever, and I did something, jumped on the back of the truck. Well, I hit my leg, and well, this was happening about a month ago. I had a bruise like big as a softball on my leg, and that shit is still there. This shit happened like 4 weeks ago. It might have been over a month now, and just had a giant ass bruise on my damn leg. I was like, what the fuck? All right. We kind of been just rambling about all kinds of different shit. It was all based on the morals and ethics of the show. This brought up a lot of questions, and it brought up a lot of good things too. But I think we should
Kyle
look
on
at
his
some,
little TED Talk rant. Yeah.
I think we should look at some news.
Oh, I did see one. Fans were asking about Rogue One. Did you see that, Kyle?
No, I didn't see it.
Oh yeah, so they were asking Tony a bunch. Apparently, there's fans asking if there's going to be an extended version of Rogue One, and Tony Gilroy says there will not ever be an extended cut, and that the best possible version of Rogue One was a theatrical release.
Like, how can you extend it? They died at the end.
Yeah. Well, no, like an extended version. So like they include deleted scenes or whatever. But yeah, I think that says something about Tony Gilroy, dude. I think we saw in Rogue One. I think we saw it in Andor. This guy makes quality shit. Okay.
Yeah, hey,
And he doesn't need to do an extended cut. He had a work of art in mind, and he fine-tuned it. And that's what happened in Andor. That's what happened in Rogue One. I respect him.
I mean, like, I like Rogue One. Man, Rogue One is one of my favorite Star Wars movies. So I don't think that they should change. I wouldn't want to see any changes made in it. I like it just the way it is. And you see what happens when they start putting in deleted scenes and adding stuff to it. We get the stupid extended versions of the original trilogy that they put Jabba the Hutt in there all CGI'd and all ugly and stupid looking. And like, I don't know why George put all that crap in there. He just messed the damn movie up. It was perfectly fine the way it was. Like, don't fix something that ain't broken. Like, it was perfect. Like, I would much rather watch the original trilogy, the original version, than I would that extended weird version that got, Han jumping on Jabba's tail and all that weird stuff, and the extra scenes and the people in the background that ain't supposed to be there. It just made it weird. So I understand where Tony was coming from. Like, I don't think I like Rogue One just the way that it was.
Dude, I loved Rogue One. I don't know, like, I think it's one of the best. Like, it's up there. It's in my top 5, so yeah. No complaints from me.
I think when we rated it, it was number 3, wasn't it? Out of all of them,
I don't
wasn't
remember
it Rogue
what
One?
I put it. For
No,
me,
I think it was 4. No, when
personally,
we
or like
when we
overall.
did the LightSaber radio one.
Oh,
Wasn't it?
I
No,
don't
think it
know
was 4.
overall what it was.
I think it was
for
number
me,
4.
it's
I think
probably
it was
like 2 or 3.
4. Then it went. No, it might have been 3. I think it was Rogue One, The Empire Strikes Back, and then we put Revenge of the Sith as our number 1 as a group when we voted on them. I think that's the way it went. I don't know. I'd have to go back and look at the
That sounds right.
episode. There's a lot of stuff about John Boyega in the news.
which scares me because
I hope that they bring him back.
Dude, I think you're right.
I hope that they bring him back. I hope that he's in the movie. I hope that they find out that he actually is force sensitive.
Dude, we're bringing back all these actors and actresses. Let's just redo them, please. Like, just redo them.
Well,
redo the sequels. We could do them better.
So you know how in the Lego special, when they have him in the Lego special, he's learning how to. Rey is teaching him how to be a Jedi, like he's her apprentice. I think that they should do that in the movie. I think that they should redeem Finn and make him the Jedi he was supposed to be in the original. If they would have, because they screwed him. They screwed the pooch on that one. And I think,
big time.
I think that I think they should redeem him. I think that that's somebody that the fans have said it many of times. I think Disney should listen and they should bring him back, and he can be her first apprentice. I really think that's what they should do.
I just think they should I honestly just wish they would redo the sequels.
I wish they would too, but Disney's already said they're not ever. The sequels are what they are. They're not ever going to take it back.
A man can dream, though, can he?
Jedi Survivor has been getting a shit ton of publicity. They're saying it's really, really good. There is some bugs. They're working out the bugs, but it is. So they already got a patch for the PS5, Xbox Series X, and PC. I guess patch number 4 went out, and I guess it fixed a bunch of stuff. So it's getting a lot of good reviews. Somebody said it's the best Star Wars game ever, and I was like, dude, you're crazy.
Yeah, you can't beat Battlefront 2.
I don't even know about Star Wars video games, but just watching the gameplay on YouTube, because I watched a couple videos on the gameplay, and I'm like, dude, the graphics is freaking amazing. Graphics is really good, but I don't know. I didn't like the way that it was like and it might have been the person that was playing it. I don't know what they were exactly playing because I don't know too much about it, but like watching just them play, it just didn't seem very like. It seemed like it would be fun, but it didn't seem like it was like Battlefront when you watch the Battlefront people playing Battlefront, that shit, or Battlefront 2. People playing that shit just seems like it's way better to me. That's just viewing. I don't know. I haven't played neither one of them, so I I can't really say. But just watching other people play, it just seemed like Battlefront 2 was better.
Battlefront 2 was so good.
And it also it top sales.
Although
in April.
honestly, it's probably better in my memory than it actually was.
And you
just
haven't
at
played
the
Jedi Survivor yet, so
yeah.
you,
And
when
it's
you
also
play it, it might
like
change
the
your mind.
nostalgia of it,
You're-
like being with the boys and like
You and CJ is gonna have to give like the overall gameplay on that. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And if you get it, we might even do some videos. We might do some gameplay videos. Let y'all just go on there and just play and just like really do like a real review of you guys playing the game and like how you guys feel about the game playing it.
I have to.
A lot of people saying the Rancor encounter is like one of the most amazing things ever.
They said it was super hard.
Yeah, it was super duper hard. There was a Mandalorian one that I seen. Something about the Mandalorian is the best Star Wars ever, and I was like, what? I didn't get a chance to read the article. I just seen it.
Huh. That's all the news I had. Is that that
Tamara
Rogue One was
Morrison
like,
wants to star in a Captain Rex spinoff. That was one of the ones I want to bring up, and
I wouldn't.
I would be down for that.
I don't think. No. I'm down to see Captain Rex. I don't think you could do a spinoff of just him though. Is my concern with
I
that.
think you could, but I
You
don't know.
reckon?
I think that they should do it animated. I don't think they should do it live action.
Oh,
I think they should do it.
I don't know.
I think they should do it animated because you have Rex in the Bad Batch. Show us what Rex is doing while he's like getting everybody together, and then what causes him to go to the planet with him, Wolf, and Gregor. Why did they go there? What happened to cause them to go there? I want to know that. That's something that I want to know. So to do a spin-off series of Rex, like him getting the clones, saving the clones, doing all the stuff that he's been doing behind the scenes, like what's going on with him during the Bad Batch time, and it leads them up to them three being on that planet together and catching the giant worms. I would like to see that. I think that they could really do a good animated series and let Tamara Morrison be the voice of Captain Rex. I think that they could do that. I think that would be better than a live action. Because I don't know, it's just like I think a lot of people is going to be confused. A lot of
Just
fans will
seeing
be
him.
confused seeing him being Captain Rex after he was just
That's
Boba
fair.
Fett. Even though everybody knows that they're all clones, I think it would just be confusing. I think it would be something that would be way better off as an animated series.
I don't know. I'd rather watch it live action, but that's because I like live action better. So it's a little bit biased.
Dave Filoni says Thrawn is definitely going to be a big threat in the New Republic era. And I have a feeling that it's going to lead all the way up to A New Hope. I think that Thrawn is going to, or not A New Hope, but to the sequel trilogy. I think Thrawn's going to be the person. He's going to be the main bad guy in the time period from the spin-off, from what's coming from Ahsoka and then Mandalorian and everything that's happening from this point forward. I think Thrawn is going to be the big bad guy, and I think that the Sith that we see in Ahsoka, I think that they're clones. I think they're going to be some type of clones of the Jedis that they had in the Mandalorian and in Kenobi. I think that they're going to be some type of they use their genetics to create these new Sith that we see in the thing. Because if they think about it like this, if you think back to Here to the Empire, the Jedi that they were using, that Thrawn was using in Here to the Empire was a clone. So I think that that's how they're tying in Here to Empire to this time period. Because they're not just going to use the book. We know that they're not just going to use the book and just go off the book, because the book has to do with Ahsoka, and then you had Luke and all that stuff in Here to the Empire. And I don't think that they're going to do that, because Here to the Empire had Luke, Leia, and Han in it. So then that means you have to redo 3 major characters, and I just don't see them doing that. They might have Luke and Ahsoka, but I think they're battling a clone of a Jedi. That's who they're fighting in here to the Empire. So I think these new Sith that we see in the Ahsoka trailer are going to be clones of Jedis. That's the reason that we keep seeing these. Everything's been based around cloning. Seeing it in Obi-Wan Kenobi, we kind of see where they have all the Jedis in them tubes. Or them
Right.
things.
That's why they've been buckling down on cloning so
Yeah,
much.
they've been, because I think these Sith are going to be clones. I think Thrawn is going to be the one pulling the strings on these clones that they're making to fight to Ahsoka and Luke. And I think that that's what we're going to see. That's my prediction anyway. That's what I think we're going to see. And I'm down, because if it's anything, if Dave has really, like, because I know he's a big fan. Here to the Empire is one of his favorite books. If he sticks to that like format in his writing, and he already said that he wrote all of them. He said that he wrote all the episodes of Ahsoka. So we got one writer. It's not going to be jumping all over the place, and got one writer. It's going to have a linear story. That's one of the things he said he wanted. The article or interview, I can't remember which one that I read or I seen. He said that it's basically one whole story that's leading up to the movie. That's when he started writing. They had already been talking about the movie. So when he started writing Ahsoka, it's just not going to jump around. It's like one linear story. So I think it's going to lead up. And I think that's going to be a lot better, because then we're going to get something. I mean, he wrote all the Rebels, so I think we're going to get something that is really good. And I think him using the baseline of him liking Here to the Empire so much, I think the cloning Jedi is going to come involved in there. I think that's going to be our connection to Here to the Empire. We have Thrawn, another connection to Here to the Empire. I don't think that the story is going to be the story of Here to the Empire, but I think that he's using that format and putting a lot of those type of characters within the story, which I think is going to be a great thing. Yeah, it definitely boosted my intrigue when it came to Ahsoka.
Yeah, I think at the end of the day, Ahsoka, I think it's either going to be really, really good, or it's going to be like a huge disappointment.
I don't know. I just don't see Dave letting Ahsoka be bad. It's just his baby. He created Ahsoka. He wrote her all through the Clone Wars. He wrote her all the way up into the He wrote her in Rebels, and Season 7 when it came out. Disney made sure that he wrote that in Season 7, because Season 7 came after the purchase from Disney. So they bought him, and that was basically his introduction into Disney Lucasfilms, was Season 7 of the Clone Wars. He wrote that phenomenally. I just have a very bad thing to say that he wrote it bad, which could be wrong. You never know. You got people in your ear telling you, oh, you should do this, you should do this, this would be good, this would be good. I mean, it's hard when you're working with a lot of different people. But I have very high hopes for it. That's my high. That and Andor is my two high hopes. Andor season 2 and Ahsoka.
I'm so excited.
Acolyte,
I did see Andor is supposed to cover at least the last couple episodes of Andor are supposed to cover like right before Rogue One.
Yeah, it leads all the way up. So each 4 I guess they're out of the season. Each 4 episodes covers 5 years.
Right.
Or a year. It covers a year, 5 years. Whatever the distance is. Each 4 episodes, and then the last one leads right up to the beginning. It's like
right
the
up to
actual last scene is like when they're in the freaking and Andor shoots the dude, his informant, and runs from the Stormtrooper. It's supposed to lead right up to that point.
Which is going to be sick, because right after I'm done watching Andor, I'll watch Rogue One.
But so I think there's going to be, and Acolytes, I'm hearing up and down stuff about Acolytes. I don't know. I'm getting kind of worried about Acolytes.
I know, it's hard.
But seeing the trailer and seeing how it has more of like that medieval feel, back alley, saloon type, thing. I'm kind of excited, but at the same time, I don't know. It just I keep hearing stuff and seeing stuff. I get kind of excited, like I hear something really good about it, and then I hear something bad about it. I'm like, oh man, what the hell? So I don't know. Skeleton Crew, kind of been quiet on Skeleton Crew. They haven't talked too much about Skeleton Crew since May the 4th.
Don't know what I think about it yet. That's going to be
I
another
just don't
tough
know.
one.
Everybody's talking about it's going to be like, what do they say, Stranger Things?
Yeah, dude. Enough with the fucking kids, man. Like we have
Gonna
so
be like
many
a
of these
mix
kind
with
of shows.
Star Wars
Like
and the Goonies and shit. I heard that somebody say that's what it's going to be like. So I don't know. But this is all bullshit because don't nobody really know the answers unless you're right there, and a lot of the stuff that comes out is just rumors. But I'm excited for any new Star Wars that comes out. And it kind of sucks that we don't know when Skeleton Crew is coming out. They just say this year. And we know Ahsoka's coming out in August, so it's like, dude, you're gonna really leave us the entire summer with no Star Wars? That sucks. Which is kind of a good marketing thing too, because people are doing more things in the summertime. People are going out, they're taking trips, they're doing a lot more stuff in the summertime when it's warm. So it might not be a great idea because people are out, they're not sitting at home watching TV. So as a marketing side, you probably wouldn't want to. But then on the other hand, some of the biggest movies, but then you go to the movie theater, you're still getting out of the house. More people are outside of the house, so I can see why movies come out during the summertime, but a TV series, to come out in the summertime, that's usually the time where all the reruns is playing. Usually, it's August, comes out with the new season, and then summertime is the rerun time, so I don't know, we'll have to see. It would be nice if they brought it out in the summer, or at least, midsummer, and then let it up to, however many episodes, and they've got a small little break again, and then we get Ahsoka. I'm excited for the stuff that's coming out. I'm excited for the movies. I'm really excited for Dawn of the Jedi, especially because Tim said that they could use anything out of the book, out of his book that they want to use. The book was amazing. I want to see I want to see how they came up with lightsabers. And the second book to Dawn of the Jedi, it's really not the second book, but it kind of explains that. It's just in the same time period, got the same characters in it, but it leads up to the lightsaber. It leads up to where it kind of breaks off from the Sith and the Jedi, kind of break off, and it was more dark side and light side. But Dawn of the Jedi was a phenomenal book. So I want to see, the Jedi using swords instead of lightsabers, the balance of the Force over the thing. And, I guess they talked to Tim and asked him, and Tim told him, y'all can use whatever y'all want from the books. He even told him, if y'all want me to help y'all write it, I will help y'all write it. So that's all good news to me, because I was a big fan of Dawn of the Jedi. It was one of the first books that I read of Legends. I read a lot of books before I got to Dawn of the Jedi. I don't even think Dawn of the Jedi was out when I started reading Star Wars books. But it is one of my favorites. That's why I started the Sway podcast with Dawn of the Jedi, because it's a very interesting book, and it gives you a different outlook on Jedi at the time, because they wasn't dark side or light side users. They was the balance, Ashla and Bogan.
Right.
So I think that's going to be a great thing. And that's about all I had on news.
That's about all I had. I mean, we've talked a lot tonight. I think it's,
Yeah, we covered a lot of stuff. But, you didn't ever give your
my rating?
ranking. Yeah.
Well, I didn't finish the entire series, so I watched most of the episodes, but I didn't quite finish. Based off what I saw, I mean, like, are you asking for my personal ranking, or like just what I think about the show in general?
What do you think about the show? Just
okay, my unbiased opinion, like, it was a good show for kids. I'd probably give it like a 7 or 8.
Now, what would you give it if it was just you?
Like, is it something that I would watch for myself again? Probably no. Never.
So you
Not a
give it
chance.
like a 3.
Probably.
You were just anti fucking animation.
Dude, if I'm gonna watch a kids show, I'd rather watch Scooby Doo. Just because, like, that's what I grew up with. It's hard for me to, like, I don't know. But like, for kids nowadays, bro, all good. 7 or 8, like probably 8. I'd probably say.
Yeah.
Like,
I liked
awesome
it. I
show.
enjoyed it.
Awesome show.
I think more kids should watch it. All right, guys, we're gonna get out of here. I'm about to start on another puzzle, so we're gonna be doing another giveaway of a puzzle. I gotta figure out, because that shit was expensive as shit to send it to you, J. That shit was like $50. I said, holy shit, $50.
More than the actual puzzle.
Damn, what the fuck? But you got to get the good packaging. You got to get, you got to send it. Make sure you put fragile on that shit. Man, it's in glass. But I'm gonna start another one, and we'll be giving that one away. Plus, we got some more stuff that we're gonna be trying to do for giveaways and stuff like that. Like I said, it'll probably be the last weekend of the month that we do the thing, because Garrison's gonna be gone on the 20th, 17th, and the 20th, right?
Yeah, all next week.
All next week. So we might not have an episode next Wednesday. We'll see. We'll talk about it this weekend and see if there's anything coming up. But it'll probably, so you'll be gone the 21st?
Here, let me look at my calendar. So I will be gone. Yeah, I'll be gone I'll be gone the 21st as well. So
we'll
probably
do it
the
on
28th.
Yeah,
probably
we'll
the 28th.
do it on the 28th. We'll have to talk to CJ and Tori. We don't want to give anybody any
Wait, will we be back the 21st, babe? I'll have to let you know. I'm pretty sure
well,
we might be coming. I know we're coming back the 21st. I just don't know if we'll be back in time to do the
come
thing.
back and then just jump right on watching. Well, I mean, we're watching Solo, so I mean, you'll be enthused. But
Fuck
I don't want
Solo.
you to just come back. You just got back from a trip and you're trying to get in on the movie thing. It'll probably be the 20th. I don't know. We'll have to talk to CJ and Tori. They did message us in our private messenger, and something was going on with their internet. Their internet was out, so that's the reason they couldn't get on the show today.
I got you.
But we will definitely let everybody know, because we'll be here the 13th. So we'll let everybody know if we're gonna have a Wednesday show or not. And other than that, everybody just stay outrageous, and may the force be with you.
Peace.
Thank you for tuning in to LSR. If you've enjoyed the show, consider subscribing so you can be notified when new episodes are released. If you would like to be a guest on the show or just want to give us some feedback, feel free to email us. You can also reach out to us on all major social media platforms. LightSaber Radio is produced by PicFilm Media and is a Swaycast original, starring Garrison Turcotte, CJ Elliott, and Kyle McDaniel. And don't forget to join us next time for more adventures in a galaxy far, far away.